Hello, my name is Duncan and welcome to Bath Books and Back Away from the Donkey. I've not done a video, I think, since last week, just because I've had a lot on. Yeah, it's just been quite stressful here in Donkey Towers. So I've been trying to make a video and it's just not happened. I've got a lot planned for next week because it is the 40th anniversary of the Return of the Jedi and I have lots of books and magazines to do with that. So I was going to do a section of videos on that. I've got another short story video and I've got another video coming out that I'm planning. So yeah, I've got a lot going on. But so it's been quiet for the week, but then you're going to get more of me than anybody really wants in their right mind. But hey, I'm just doing it because I'm quite enjoying making the videos. So today you've got me sort of hot off the press. I went out for the afternoon with the good Mrs. Baft, or the Mrs. Donkey, or whatever we're calling her, and we bar the fact that her wheelchair seems to be totally invisible to people, and I'm going to put spikes and flamethrowers on it just to see if people start to notice it. We had a bowl of soup out in a local cafe that had too much salt in it, but I had a lovely cup of coffee. But on the way back we were wandering around. It's a lovely afternoon, so if you hear any noises in the background, it's people mowing grass. It's people outside mowing grass, and I'm not shutting the window because it's too warm. So I've got some what I picked up today because my wife, she said, just pop into the charity shops there and just have a quick look while we were going past. So I did, and then I've got a couple of books that I've picked up before that as well. So the first thing I will start with today, and I walked into our local Red Cross shop, and I'll show you a brace of Ian Fleming bonds, 6 for £1. And I said, you got me hot off the press because I've not even really looked at them. These are all pamphlet editions. I recently read Casino Royale. Wasn't overly impressed by it, but it was enjoyable. So I'm quite interested to read some more of them. And if you were to edit them and take the sexism and misogyny out of them, they'd probably be about that thick. But other than that, fine. So in this collection, so these are all pamphlet ones from the 70s. They're all in, they're not brilliant condition, but they're not bad. They're all readable. Spines intact. So we have You Only Live Twice. Live and Let Die. They all seem to be pretty well. Goldfinger. Dr. No. There we go. From Russia with Love. And Thunderball. And I'd be quite interested to read these to see if they get any better than Casino Royale, because Casino Royale was okay, but and the only Bond ones I've read before this, I've read some of the in the 70s. I think there was actually some proper novelizations. So you had I remember what film was it? I think it's Diamonds Are Forever. Somebody wrote, and The Spy Who Loved Me. Somebody wrote novelizations of the films. So you had the Ian Fleming's original ones and novelizations. I remember reading the novelizations. But other than that, Casino Royale was my first actually reading proper Ian Fleming Bond. And I said, but now I have these 6 books, which cost me £1 for the lot, which I thought was a pretty good deal. I don't know when I'm going to get around to them because I've got a backlog of stuff that I'm trying to get through and I'm trying to catch up. But yeah, and I said they're all pamphlet. Pamphlet used to do a lot of science fiction, which is great covers, but said these are their Bond editions. And then earlier this week I found this in a local charity shop as I was walking past, which is quite an interesting one. This is 3 detective books. A Handy Death, Borrow the Night, The Notch and the Knife. And I said William Haggard did one, Elizabeth Peters, and Robert Fish and H.P. Rothblatt. And I don't know much about this genre really. And I had a quick look online, and the authors are well known. I think it was, William Haggard. He did the book that the film Bullet is based on. Bullet was Steve McQueen. So I'm intrigued to read that at some point. But it's not a bad condition. They're not as nice covers, hardbacks. This was brought from our local, from Woolworths, 39p, and me being the person I am, I know that the way that's labelled in that, this is from the 70s, but looking at it, it's from somebody called the Detective Book Club. We've got this little logo of this little dagger. So if anybody knows anything about them, please tell me. As far as I can work out, it used to be a book club, a US-based one, so I don't know how this ended up in Woolworths in Scotland, which it must have, and then in the charity shop. But yeah, I don't know when I'm going to get around to these, but I thought quite interesting. I just sort of couldn't pass it by. I said there's 3 of them, and I did a little bit of research I did online. I think they did a run of these of 3 novels in one. I do not think they're abridged. I think they're full versions. So yeah, that could be interesting. And finally, I brought this off of 8 Books actually, and this looks like the cover to a Harold Robbins novel. If you don't know who Harold Robbins is, looking up sort of softcore porn, whatever it was. And this is Mazes and Monsters, and this is the book that was based on a urbanish myth about somebody dying and committing suicide in some tunnels because of a game of Dungeons and Dragons. And they made a book about fiction book, which was this, and this was then made into a TV film, which I have a copy of, starring Tom Hanks, and it was Tom Hanks' first role, and it is not a good film, but I was interested to read the book, and I managed to find this book finally, which I'm going to read, and I'm probably going to watch the film again at some point. So I'm hopefully going to do this in the next couple of months. I'm intrigued to read this, but it's been quite hard to get hold of this. But the cover, I don't know about the cover. The cover is just like, okay. And I will read the back of this, because the back of this just sets up. It was part of the sort of satanic panic of the early 1980s. I'm of the age, I was early 1980, I was 12 years old. And I was in the first wave of Dungeons and Dragons. I used to play it a lot, and I loved it. And I probably still play it now, by the fact that I moved jobs so many times and that I don't know any people who would like to play it. So, which is sad. I have no friends. Quick, get your little violins out. But anyway, yes, the back of Mazes, and this was there was all these rumours, especially more in America than was over here, about, you know, sending you over to Satanism and what have you. And this book sort of fueled it, and I will read the thing. Mazes and Monsters. For Kate, Robbie, JJ and Daniel, it began as just another intriguing pastime, an absorbing game, and to be hotly pursued and quickly forgotten. But Mazes and Monsters was different. It seized the imagination and wouldn't let go. There were terrors to be invented and glittering treasure to be found, a whole fantasy world to be created. In Ramona Jaff's sensational novel, here are the parents who shaped these young people's lives, caught up in their own problems and game playing, and here are their children whose fantasies are infinitely more real and dangerous. Yes, I'm not expecting huge amounts out of this, but I'm intrigued to read it. So yes, hot off the press, especially the James Bond ones. But I just wanted to do a quick video. I said I'm planning hopefully to get some more out this weekend, maybe, but if not, I'm just doing recording and early next week. And I said I'm going to do some stuff on some books I've got to do with Return of the Jedi. I've also I'm going to do some on short story, which I'm looking forward to, and there's a few other bits I've got coming up soon. And I said I hope you keep an eye out for those. And also I'm going to do my own original tag for Tag Tuesday, and it's going to be weirdly Return of the Jedi related. I've got some bits about it, an idea about it, but you don't have to like the films. You don't have to be a Star Wars geek like me to like it. But anyway, I will speak to you all very soon, and I hope in your part of the world it's as lovely as it is here. But I hope you're not tripping over cruise ship passengers like we are. Anyway, I will speak to you all very soon, and bye-bye for now.